Good evening, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to this week's live video. Let me actually get myself in the whole shot there. How is everybody doing? We are back here ready to do another live video after having to miss last week. We had one of that job snafus, employment, just constantly interfering with cruising and vacationing and everything else. Good God Almighty. It's terrible. But did cause us to miss last week's live video. But we're back and we are ready to go.
Glissons is here. Attila's here. Hey, y'all. Bob's here. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. Connie's here.
Connie's here. Ahoy, mateys. Bob says, ready to cruise, just 12 days.
Ooh, that's half.
Yeah.
That is half of ours. We are currently sitting at 25 days.
Josh is here. Welcome, Josh. What cruise lines would you want to go on that you have not gone on?
All of them. Is that a legitimate answer? All of them? I'd like to try all of them once. But if I had to pick one, that's a toughie. Well, I don't know. What do you think? We haven't been on
Celebrity.
We're going to go with Celebrity Cruise Lines. That would probably be number one. But we still want to go on Holland America, and I want to try Virgin Voyages. That's probably the top three that we haven't been on.
And Margaritaville.
Ooh, yeah, see, and top four. Top four, and Margaritaville.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to my original answer of all of them. Because really, at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a bad cruise, and every cruise line has something good to offer.
Mm-hmm.
In 25 days, we'll find out what MSC has to offer, since it'll be our first time on MSC. But admittedly, just looking at MSC as a whole, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited to go on the ship. I want to check out their food and their entertainment and their ship layout and the vibe and everything else they've got going on that cruise ship. But I don't know that MSC Cruise Lines is going to come out as one of our favorites. One simple tiny reason is I don't like their policy that you cannot bring beverages on board the ship with you on embarkation day or at any of the cruise ports, which means I've got to go 7 days without my favorite morning beverage. And for a cruise line that tells me no to my morning favorite beverage, may not put you at the top of my favorite list. But of course, that's me. That's a personal thing. So. Texas Cruisers here.
Yep, 25 days till Seascape. Attila says hi to Bob. Linda's here. Hello, welcome. Bob says, we get back on the 6th. I know you will be in Galveston on the 8th. Yeah, we will just miss you.
Yeah, we get down there on the 8th.
Connie said, I talked to somebody in real life who said she and her husband love Virgin Cruise Lines and now doesn't want to sail anything else.
I've heard really good things about Virgin, so I want to try them out. I mean, I heard their food is spectacular, and for us, food is important.
Food is very important.
Food is very important on a cruise.
Misty's here. Howdy, y'all. Glisten says, soon I'm going to travel on MSC Fantasia.
Okay.
Do they have a Fantasia? I don't know.
They have one that starts with an F. For sure, I can't off the top of my head remember exactly the name of it out there. But yeah, that's going to be my biggest hang up on MSC. Did a little research and a little checking for upcoming cruise. And of course, MSC only has 2 drink packages, alcohol or non-alcohol. They don't have your basic soda package, which still isn't the best and ideal on any cruise lines. It's at least something.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of keep your whistle wet, since we don't drink a lot of alcohol. But normally I always bring a 12-pack on with me of my morning caffeine beverage. And I'm not going to be able to do that.
Nope. Which means my backpack's going to be a lot lighter.
True. Tiffany's backpack will be a lot lighter.
Got to look at the positive.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if you still feel that's really positive when I haven't had my morning caffeine.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about.
So.
I'll share my coffee.
Ew. Ew, no, 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 no. You'll be happy. They're gonna have cruise ship coffee, and it's an Italian cruise line, so it should, in theory, not be Folgers.
Chica's here. Hola, how is everyone doing?
We're doing great, but there is always the possibility because they've come out and said, we want to make things more Texan, right? So maybe they've ripped off that wonderful Italian coffee and espresso, and instead, you're gonna get some HB coffee.
Maybe. I like HB coffee. Cafe Ole. Texas Cruiser said, wish you were going with us, Attila. Misty says, fantastic. Just pulled chocolate banana bread out. Oh, that sounds pretty good. I've never had chocolate banana bread.
That does sound really, really good. And you're not even a real big fan of bananas.
I can't stand the smell of bananas. They make me nauseous, but I love banana bread. Nellie's here. Martin is now here. Tara's here. Welcome. Hello, everyone.
Well, Martin, how was Mariner of the Seas?
Yes.
Did you do even better in the casino than what you posted over on Facebook?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, inquiring minds do want to know. How was Mariner? And, well, we know you were in the casino, so how'd that go?
Yeah.
And then Tara.
Yeah.
And
Nellie says Mariner was so wonderful without Haley.
You are
probably not the right thing to say.
Brave, man. Brave.
I called her daily all day.
To say how much you missed her and wish she was there. You gotta add those extra lines. Happy wife, happy life. At least pretend. She doesn't need to know that the minute she leaves, you're partying. Yeah.
Attila says he wishes he could go to.
It's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be some interesting folks on there, being the first cruise out. Brand new cruise terminal. It's going to gain interest of.
I'm excited to meet Rick. I've never got to meet
other
him.
creators are going to be on there. Well, more creators other than even just Rick is going to be on that particular sailing. So we'll have some fun. We'll meet some new folks. We'll do some networking. You'll get to meet Rick. I haven't seen Rick since the Carnival Jubilee came to Galveston the day she arrived. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really good
Bob
cruise.
says, she will see this, Nellie.
Yeah, it's like he sets himself up for, punishment later on. One of these days he's going to get on a cruise with a big black eye or something. And we're going to know why.
Chica says, I hope the creators will be friendly. Texas Cruiser says, Seascape has turned out to be a creator and vlogger convention.
You knew it was going to attract some people. You just knew it was going to. So, but for creators and vloggers, it is also a really good opportunity to meet and network with other people that are doing the same thing you love to do. So it should be fun.
Nellie said, no, she's on a plane to Munich with her grandma. That's right. She was going to Germany. Nellie said, so she won't see this. You hope.
You hope. Because it's not like it's available in replay from this day forward. So she's going to get on there just to read the comments. What did he have to say about me? But yeah. Is he wanting out already?
I don't know. Come
on. Dog's starting up his business already.
Really looking forward to it, Chris. It's going to be a blast.
It is. I've seen some good videos. I guess the one that keeps catching my attention is the White Night party that they do inside the atrium area there on Seascape. Like multi-decks and everybody's lined up. And the one video I saw looked like they were really, really into it. And so I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Misty says, oh, the star of the show, the pup. Yes.
Yeah. The Mr. Show Me Some Attention. Otherwise, I'm just going to whine until I get all the attention that I want. He is the unofficial channel mascot.
Nellie says, funny story. I saw a lot of Pacific Islanders, and one lady yelled, "I know you." Turns out someone live streamed my wedding, and she knew me from that. Then others realized who I was, and they saw me. Oh, Linda's also going on the Seascape November 9th.
Yeah, there's a couple people from the channel that are going to be on there and stuff like that. So, it's going to be an interesting cruise. Definitely going to be some networking.
Definitely, if you see us, come say hi. Don't say hi to Chris because he won't hear you. Come say hi to me, and then I'll grab his attention.
Yes.
Nellie says, Hula and such getting recognized. Laugh out loud. Rick says, that's pretty cool, Nellie. Attila says, Chris, do they even sell Red Bull on MSC? I would think they would, but it's probably pricey.
They do have Red Bull on there. It's just
he doesn't like Red Bull.
I don't care for it all that much.
If he's desperate, he'll drink it.
Yeah, if it comes down to desperation, I will absolutely drink it. I have the weirdest, probably not, but I have very specific things I like to drink. I drink the energy drinks for caffeine because I don't like coffee. I don't care for dark sodas. They don't agree with me. So if I drink a soda, it's usually like a Sprite or a ginger ale or something like that because it's Coke products on the ship. And those, unfortunately, don't have caffeine in them. So the energy drink gives me that daily caffeine, my morning cup of coffee. It may have to be Red Bull. But and that's not going to put MSC at the top of my favorite list, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Not when I can take it on Royal Caribbean, and Royal Caribbean has drinks available 24/7. So,
Jude says, did you guys already get on Star of the Seas?
Did we get on Star of the Seas? No. Nope. We are not the get on a brand new cruise ship folks. They are usually overpriced, in my opinion, overcrowded, and they sail out of places that are not super close to us. So we're not in a huge rush to run and jump on some brand new cruise ship the majority of the time. It's not as chill as I like it to be. And definitely don't want to pay those brand new cruise ship prices because they're so proud of that. They're like, let's just hike this price way up because we're brand new.
Nellie said they stayed on deck 8 and we did the Hawaiian yell on Sail Away. That was so awesome. I bet that was. Sheikah says, I guess you are unforgettable, Nellie. That is cool. Rick said, I bet it was, Nellie. And Nellie, I don't want to mess up that last word, but did you do that? I've seen it. I've seen videos of it. It's awesome. And yeah, that would be cool to see if y'all did that. Not that, but we did the yell and everyone watched us. Sheikah says Star is very, very expensive.
Yeah, those new cruise ships they're really proud of that. And I personally like to look in the other direction. So if they're releasing a brand new Icon class cruise ship, they're super proud of it. That's when you look at some of the other ships that are sailing from that, company in or around that port. Those prices usually dip while the new ship goes up. Usually that's when you can score some pretty good cruise deals.
Big Boy Productions is here. Says, yo, Big Boy Production.
Welcome.
Josh says, MSC Cruises has the best coffee out of all of the 12 cruise lines I've been on. Thank you, because I was getting a little worried because sometimes cruise coffee is just bleh.
Well, that definitely will make Tiffany happy, and she'll definitely be able to weigh in on the coffee discussion when she gets back.
Yes.
Because you're looking forward to trying some cruise ship coffee.
I am. I'm taking a cup. Taking my cup.
About a 4-gallon cup. But
yes, it is. It holds 2 cups. 1 cup holds 2 cups.
1 cup holds 2 cups.
Rick says a yell would have been cool. Nellie said Star was only $450 for me.
Yeah, that's because you prepaid in the casino.
Yes. Misty said I did a price check on Icon class and laughed and clicked on a different ship.
Exactly. And with a lot of these new ships coming out doing these short weekend itineraries, for me, it's definitely not worth going to Florida to do a weekend itinerary.
Misty says, can't wait for the coffee on MSC. Misty, are you taking a cup too? I know I am. Attila said, good coffee, that's good news. Yep. Rick is here. Or I'm sorry, James is here. Hey,
James.
Chris and Tiffany and all High Seas Cruisers. Sorry, James.
You're
My
welcome,
glasses
James.
are dirty. I need to wash them. Misty said, 4-gallon cup is still a cup, silly.
I'm going to guess that was directed at me. Doesn't matter if my cup is pulled around in a wheelbarrow or a wagon. It's still a cup.
Yes, it is.
Well, if they make good Italian coffee, then Tiffany's going to be happy, and that right there makes her happy, which means she's not yelling at me for something else.
Yes. Nellie says, I want to try MSC, but would rather use my free casino comp on World America, but not Seascape, I think. Misty says, not taking a cup will get my extra steps by going back to get more. There you go. Nellie said, don't disrespect James. I'm sorry.
I know. Wait a minute. I think that was a poke at Rick, actually.
Sheikah, for me, the airfare to Florida would be more than the 3-day cruise. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at the big cruising picture right now, that 14-day on Carnival out of Galveston is really the biggest next cruise focus after this one. Because, of course, we got Tiffany's Disney trip in the middle there. It's probably going to be the best offer and the best bet that we've got to get to see the most amount of stuff in a decent amount of time. 14-day cruise, but man, it's really cruise port heavy once you get over in that area. And it's pretty much all cruise ports we've never been to before, or at least you've never been to before. I've been to some of those places, just not on a cruise ship. So, and that's balancing that to go to Florida, drive or fly to get on a weekend cruise on Star of the Seas, Icon of the Seas, or any of those, as much as I'd like to see them, it's just not, doesn't make as much financial sense. It's just waiting for the Icon to come to Galveston.
True.
Right?
True.
So, and once it comes to Galveston, then we hop on it. So,
well, thank you, Nellie. Who has best coffee? We will find out mid-November.
Tiffany will let you know, and thank you. She absolutely appreciates that going to her coffee fund.
Yes.
And she will definitely continue to put those coffee funds to good use.
Yes, I would.
So, did you ever think that people would pay you to go taste coffee?
No. No.
See, that right there, you've made it. You've made it. Your responsibility is to go on these vacations and taste and sample the coffee and share the data. What a rough life you have.
Chilla said, oops, forgot to ring the cute puppy alert. He's being a sweetheart. Yes, he is.
That's because he's a big old baby.
Yes.
He is a 100% baby lap dog. And if he can sit in your lap and stay there all day, he is perfectly fine with that and content with that. But we're going to move on to just a little bit of interesting cruise news. And because I really got some questions here, and I'm kind of wondering what is going on over at Norwegian Cruise Lines. Norwegian Cruise Lines has made some changes here in the last week or so that, according to them, and they say that for no matter what they do, to enhance the guest experience. But I'm not seeing how a lot of this enhances anything for the guest. But we'll see.
Bob says, my wife is interested in the 14-day on Carnival, which surprised me. Does she not like long cruises?
Even you weren't so sure about a 14-day cruise, but that itinerary is a heck of a good itinerary.
It's a really good itinerary. I'm just not sure about missing 2 weeks of work. Nellie says, for all the money it costs to go on NCL, they are being cheap.
A lot of people say nickel and diming, cruise lines are nickel and diming. And of course, we have seen price increases since the restart of cruising. We've definitely seen things that were included before, not included now. We have seen a reduction in service and things like that since the restart of cruising in cruise lines attempt to make more profit, maximize their profits. They use it to pay off debt. But sometimes you kind of got to scratch your head, especially when they start off saying to enhance the guest experience. So it kind of all started with MSC saying that if you wanted a second entree in the main dining room, that you not have to pay for that. You get one entree in the main dining room. Anything more than one, you have to pay for. You still get all the appetizers you want, all the desserts you want, but if you want a second entree, you got to pay for it. Now, that right there is not a super big deal. Other cruise lines already have that policy. They're not the first to go that route. So they went that route like everybody else. Not a super big deal. Me personally, I couldn't eat multiple entrees in the main dining room anyway. You know what I mean? Usually we go in there and get our appetizer, our food, our dessert. I'm full. So that's not a super, super big deal. But that's only one of the things they've done.
Attila says you hear Princess is defaulting to non-refundable deposits. Kind of annoying. That would be annoying if they're all non-refundable. Because I thought you had it up until a certain time on some.
On some fares you did, and some fares you didn't.
Bob said loves long cruises. Not sure about Carnival. Carnival long cruises to me are a lot better. They're not so boozy.
Right.
Being on a longer Carnival.
Yeah, being on a long Carnival cruise is, in my opinion, it's great because that short-term crowd, the get drunk every day crowd, fight and get thrown off the ship crowd, they're usually not on a 14-day cruise. That's just not their thing, I guess is the best way to say it. So you're going to get truly loyal, happy cruise. Now, what you will get on a 14-day Carnival cruise, you may see a little more of than you see on other ones. You're going to see a little more of that entitlement, that little more of the nose stuck in the air because you're going to have more diamonds and platinums on there than usually any other cruise. So you may get a little bit of that, but you won't get as much, I guess to put it as nicely as possible, riffraff on a 14-day cruise. So you get the Carnival vibe, the Carnival fun parties, the sailaway parties and stuff that Carnival's great about. And they are definitely one of the best ones out there for that sort of stuff. White night, 80s night.
Silent discos.
Silent discos. And of course, being a 14-night cruise, they'll have even more. So you get a whole bunch of the really great stuff Carnival does really well with a little less of the stuff Carnival is kind of known for on their shorter cruises. I think it's a really good balance.
Nellie says, Attila, I wonder how many people cancel Princess for them to do that. That's a good question.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of rhyme or reason why they would do that. You know, whether it's benefit to us or not, there's a rhyme and a reason.
And Steve says, one of the things I look at other than ports and ship is if package works on their private island.
Well, we all know for Carnival it does not, and that's one of the other things that's going on with NCL.
Nellie said, Bob, didn't y'all go on a long cruise, Jewel cruise?
Just let him out, please. All right, we had to let the puppy dog out. He was determined he was going to go out, so let him out. He's going to go out there and bark.
Patella says, yes, Nellie, a lot or just a big money grab. Rick says, hey, Bob, in the 14-day Journeys cruise on Breeze to the Eastern Caribbean, that's the one I'm booking for October 27. Bob says, 2 of them, Nellie, December and February. Attila said, some fares still can, but you pay double the amount to get it. Josh says the booking policy and Princess Cruises upfront non-refundable deposits are in line with Europe and the UK.
Okay. I haven't dug into that story a whole lot. I saw it, but I didn't really look at it a whole lot. I said I've been doing a lot of reading on NCL because not only did they do the increase there, they're making apparently a change to their room service policy. So if you order room service for Norwegian Cruise Lines right now, it's $9.95 plus a 20% gratuity to order room service. Normally, when you order room service, you just kind of order whatever you want. And it looks like Norwegian's going to change that from whatever you want to one hot item and one cold item per person in the cabin for that $9.95. Now, the one thing they haven't said is what specifically does that mean? Does that mean if you order a burger and fries, that's 2 hot items? Or is that a burger fries plate, which is 1 item, and then you get a cold item? But it's going to be 1 hot item and 1 cold item per person in the cabin. Still for the $9.95, there's no price change. Still the 20% gratuity. If you want more than that, you have to pay the $9.95 again. So another thing that Norwegian has quietly slipped underneath the door there on us. Costs more to eat in the main dining room if you want a second entree. Room service could possibly get more expensive if you want a hamburger and a hot dog for your dinner that night because you're working in your cabin. Well, that's 2 hot items, and if you're just one person, you can't have that, according to what they're saying right now. But the biggest controversial subject, and this one, I'm going to side completely with cruisers on this because this just, to me, feels nothing more than a money grab. So Norwegian Cruise Lines has the More at Sea drink package on their ship. Normally, if you go to their private island of Great Stirrup Cay, the drink package worked on the private island. Well, starting next year, I want to say it was March or May 1st of next year, that drink package is no longer going to work on their private island of Great Stirrup Cay. Work on the ship, not on the private island. They're basically kind of switching to the Carnival philosophy, where, hey, I know you paid for a drink package. I know you're on our private island, but nay, that's not going to be working here. But hold on. Because Norwegian says, look, we are enhancing your private island experience. We're going to create a brand new drink package just for Great Stirrup Cay that you can purchase at an additional cost. So you're going to pay for a drink package, you have to buy it the whole cruise. So if you buy the drink package on the ship for the week, you go to Great Stirrup Cay, you get off the ship, you cannot use your drink package, but they're willing to sell you a different drink package while you're there. Isn't that nice of them? But that's not a money grab. That is to enhance your cruising experience. So.
Who Paul is here. Hello, all. Welcome, Who Paul. Nellie says, oh, Bob, long cruises on Royal. Bob says, also have a 9-day on Mariner in February. Sheikah said, I always avoided itineraries with private islands, but nowadays you can't escape them. No, you can't.
No, not anymore. That's become the new big cash cow.
Nellie says, Rick went from no Carnival cruises lately, but now he is Mr. Carnival. Take his Diamond Plus away.
Royal Caribbean's coming to his house.
Nellie said, right, Sheikah, they all go to private destinations. Cruising Chris M is here. Hello, High Seas Cruising family, or cruise family.
Welcome.
Matilda says, I don't look at NCL anymore due to recent changes.
They all make changes. They all do things that aren't necessarily popular with every cruiser. But, it's not like NCL is one of the most budget-friendly cruise lines to begin with. They've got majority of their prices are a little bit higher. Their cruise fares are higher than some of the others. And then to go, well, I know you paid for the drink package, but we decided it's not going to work over here on the private island anymore. That's bad enough. That at least puts them with Carnival. But then to come out and say, but to enhance your guest experience, we're willing to sell you a different drink package that will work on the island. So they can sell you another one that works on the island. You just can't use the one you already bought on the island. And they said, well, but we're putting in cruise ship piers and we're putting in swimming pools and those dogs need to stop barking. And we're putting in a water park and lounge chairs for everybody. And I'm guessing this is how they're going to pay for it.
Maybe.
It's like, oh, hey, look, we're going to come a little bit, over budget. I bet we can get this from our passengers.
Nellie says, me too, Attila. They don't interest me anymore, and they are more costly, in my opinion. I think so. Nelly says someone has to pay for all of them NCL Island upgrades. JB Ranch is here. Welcome. Amazing. These ships are normally full. I'm tired of companies reaching into my pockets.
Yeah, and
and says the only problem with that.
all right, we're about to go put some gags on some dogs because I have no idea what is going on out here with these guys tonight. Where are we at here? Yeah, every cruise has a private island. They all do. I do think private islands have a benefit. They do have a place. It is nice sometimes to just kind of go and know you're going to be able to chill out and relax. I like Half Moon Key, Castaway Key, liked Harvest Key from Norwegian, love Coco Key. Because you can go to a lot of those places and you don't have to spend money if you don't want to. Of course, there's always the option to spend money. So I think they got a place. What I don't really like is when the itinerary is nothing but private islands. And Carnival's got some of those where it's, we're going to go to Half Moon, we're going to go to Celebration Key, and then we're going to go back, and they call that a weekend cruise. And for some people, that's probably great. It's probably awesome. They've never been there before. But at the end of the day, it's a beach day, which is, if it's mixed in with a whole bunch of other good stuff, that's great. But if that's all it is, then that's where kind of private islands bug me a little bit. Says they should have grandfathered the people who already had cruises booked so they wouldn't have to buy the new package. They are changing the contract. Norwegian, in my opinion, does that kind of crap all the time. How many times have we seen Norwegian say, okay, you booked this itinerary. Now that we're pulling away on embarkation day, we've decided we're going to change your times. We're going to skip this port. It's to enhance your cruise experience and save us fuel costs. Norwegian been doing stuff like this for a while. And I know there's Norwegian fans out there like James. And we did have a great time on our Norwegian cruise. But yeah, at the same time, Norwegian's one of the ones that does it a little bit weirder than the rest, in my opinion. We're right here. Okay. Yeah, James, I kind of think in this particular case, it is a money grab. If they had just said it's not going to work on the private island, that would have been bad enough. But at least that's something the other cruise lines do. But for them to go, you bought one, now it doesn't work on the private island, but hey, we'll sell you another one. That's where they've hit that extra shady, I think, right there.
Everyone's saying hello. Attila said it's like I have so many choices and so little time to cruise. I just kind of look in the direction of a ship or line with the best value for money, and NCL seemed to drop below my line of sight. So
when I go through and I look at cruises, I agree with that. You look at your basic cruise fare and where they're going compared to the competitors that are going to these same ports. Norwegian usually drops off the list pretty quick too.
Cruising Chris M says, I will be on NCL's private island gazing out at Coco Key, just thinking to myself, if I sold RC, I wouldn't have had to pay extra for this drink. Tika says, one of my sons would love a cruise that stops at the private islands. Nellie wants to know which NCL is Chris M doing. Misty said at Sheikah, it was an experiment that worked great. It's already been attacked by kids. She's talking about that chocolate banana bread. Now I'm going to have to try that.
Chris M is going on the getaway.
In April?
In April.
Attila says fuel costs.
Yeah, that's one of Norwegian's favorite ones.
NCL
fuel costs. Improved fuel economy.
Yeah. NCL always states fuel costs. James said, yes, I have canceled my June cruise on the Aqua.
Ooh. What's really great about that is when we met James, he was an NCL, gun-ho NCL.
NCL.
Yeah.
and super excited that we were going on our first NCL cruise with him.
Yeah. Now, just to be fair across the board, we did enjoy that NCL
Yes, we
cruise.
did. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, Prima needed some rethinking in some places like that, but as far as a cruise line, a cruise ship, food quality and stuff like that, NCL was great. Don't hate NCL's actual product, just some of the stuff that NCL puts out, like double charging for drink packages. That's silly. Silly.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll continue to see what NCL is doing with this kind of stuff. Clearly, they're making some kind of cutbacks. Clearly, they're trying to increase their profit margins, looking at new ways to generate revenue. But, and this goes for all of the cruise lines out there, I think cruisers are beginning to reach that point of just no more. And if prices continue to push what they've been doing, everything continues to go up. Cruise lines want to charge more. You're going to see more and more cruisers, I think, continuing in the future to simply purchase less.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to find ways to not purchase the drink package. They'll budget differently, not eat in as many specialty restaurants. For some people, the increased prices will push them out of being able to cruise, once a year to every other year. Eventually, you're going to hit that ceiling, and that ceiling is going to collapse because eventually your cruise base, you're going to price them out of being able to go.
Yeah.
Disney did that. You look at the Disney parks and what they cost. I saw a video on today. In 1993, to go to Disney World for the day, the ticket was $24. $24. Now the ticket's $180 some. That's just the ticket to get in. That doesn't include eating, none of that, lightning lanes, any of that stuff. Pricing just a trip to Disney World, you're looking at a few $1,000s, which is way more than it was just a couple years ago. And there's a lot of people out there already that say, we got to save 5-6 years to go one time.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it's going to become a thing.
Tilla says, well, yeah, they have major debt to pay off from pandemic times, and NCL is more under the debt clouds than the bigger ones.
I get it, but you can only dip your hand into the cookie jar so many times before there's no more cookies in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's going to come down to. Right now they're like, okay, $1 today, $2 next month, 6 months down the line, $3. Eventually people just going to get tired of it. They're going to stop paying it, and they're going to go, oh, NCL. Well, you cost more than Royal Caribbean or NCL, and people are going to ditch. And you can see it in the cruising industry a little bit already. Why is Margaritaville so popular? I mean, especially considering they start off with the worst reviews of any cruise line out there. There's still some lists out there where Margaritaville is listed as one of the worst cruise lines you could book. People still book them all the time. Now, there's people that have a natural fan following, a lover of Margaritaville cruises, but they're also one of the least expensive. So you can get a cruise on them way cheaper than a lot of the other cruise lines. If NCL keeps raising their prices, and Margaritaville's prices are way down here, who's going to book? Right? How is MSC growing so quickly in the United States and grabbing a larger and larger share? Because their fares are usually less expensive than the other cruise lines. Money talks, bullshit walks.
Yeah. James says, I also have just relocated to Indiana with family issues and all NCL doing. It changed my mind. We've all had to cancel cruises. James.
Yeah, we have.
So there's more out there. Nellie said, James, you had to do what you had to do. Sheikah said, it's understandable. Tilla said, cookies are so yummy though, Chris.
Yes, but I want to keep my own cookies. I don't want them going to Norwegian. Norwegian can get their own cookies.
James said, yes, Nellie and Sheikah, family issues are more important. Yes.
Mhm.
Got to take care of the family. We've all done that.
And the best thing is the NCL Aqua will still be out sailing year for it's brand new ship. So you can go next year, the year after, it's still going to be there. That is one of the nice things about cruising is you missed it this year, generally you can pick it up next.
Sheikah says Carnival and NCL started just like Margaritaville did.
Mm-hmm.
Nellie said, but new cruisers don't know how it was, and they just take the same itineraries and changes because they are new and don't know in some cases, like those who take 3 or 4 day Utopia, expensive for no reason. Yes, but maybe those new cruisers need to watch content creators that discuss it and talk about it so that they are aware of it.
Well, but you're always going to
changes.
That's true, but you're always going to have those kind of people.
Yeah.
Look at when a new iPhone comes out.
Oh God, they all run to go get it, and there's lines out the building, and
yeah, their phone could be 6 months old, perfect, brand new, but the brand new one's going to come out, and now they'll go line around. They're camping outside of the Apple store to get the new phone. To me, that's the exact same mentality that the brand new cruise ship on a 3-day super expensive itinerary. It's kind of like the same thing. You're going to have that. There's always going to be that core group of people that's willing to pay, willing to camp out, to be the first to say, I was first to do this. I was first to get on. I got it before you. Ha, ha, ha type of situation. I have to have the newest and the best. And that's just not us. We still have iPhone 11s. So.
Yeah, I'm doing everything I can to, speaking of which, I need to clear some storage.
Yeah, so, we're still cruising on iPhone 11. Yeah, we still have iPhone 11s. So, yeah, we're still looking at Mariner of the Seas and those other cruise ships. We're happy to be on Harmony and Symphony. They're not the newest, but boy, we're still having a good time.
Mm-hmm. Sheikah said, Attila said, haha, I'm keeping my cookies too. I eat them before any cruise. NCL can't touch.
Exactly.
Sheikah said, those are young people that want to show off. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And eventually they will realize, well, wait a minute. I spent all this money for this 3-day cruise, and if I'd have gotten on this ship right over here that I saw, because we're talking Miami, you can get on one of the older, smaller ships sitting right there for half the price and twice as long. Mm-hmm. They'll figure that out real quick.
Misty said, I did lots of research before booking my first one and 394 days till my actual cruise. I'm still doing some research on all my ports and ship. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is absolutely. Chris was the same way when we first started cruising. He'd be in here for hours just researching, looking, watching videos, and doing all of that. So that way you have an idea of what to expect.
Well, yeah, I knew not to get off the ship in the Bahamas in camouflage shorts because they're going to make you go back to the ship. Yeah. We knew where to wander and not wander in Jamaica. A little bit of research makes you have a whole lot better cruise.
Mm-hmm. Sheikah said probably young people that still live at home. Nellie said the amount they pay for Utopia, you can go on a Voyager class ship half the price.
Mm-hmm.
Rick says, getting ready for our show at 7. Everyone have a great evening. You two have a great show, Rick.
Yep, have an excellent show. Thank you for stopping by. Might hop over there once we're done over here.
Yeah. Misty said, that's how I found your channels. That's awesome. I remember when you first started watching us too, you asked questions, and I just absolutely love when people ask us questions like that. So
as long as we can answer them.
Yeah.
Of course, if we can't, we'll tell you we can too. But that was the whole reason we started this channel, was simply to share information. Legit information. And to share our cruising experience for anybody that could take something from that. Because we also know that not everybody cruises the same, feels the same, likes exactly the same thing, other than the fact that we all like cruising. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that's part of the fun and enjoyment of the community, is having everybody's different opinion in here. But that's why we do this. Love it. Now, of course, we do know that there was some hurricane action going over in the Atlantic. this past week, and fortunately, a couple cruise ships did get stuck in New York for a bit. I mean, it's hurricane season. Stuff happens. It's not like it was done on purpose, but I can kind of get where it might suck that, you hop on your cruise ship for embarkation day and
You're stuck there for a couple days.
it no go. Yeah. Especially if you're get the balcony that just happens to be dockside. So every time you step out, you're just looking at the parking lot.
Yeah.
And a ton of rain, so it was a wet parking lot. That kind of sucks.
Bob says, and what every cruiser wants. Nellie said, I saw your Sancho vlog yesterday at midnight. I fell asleep in chair and the algorithm put me on that vlog while my eyes closed. Chica said, Puerto Vallarta was hit really bad last week.
Well, I will say this much. There is a cruise comment video coming out tomorrow morning. We had fun with that one again. So hope everybody enjoys that because we had fun making it. Recently, we've gotten into a more, what's the word? Cinematic skit approach to some of our
Chris
videos.
is trying to get really creative.
Yeah, getting really creative with some of these videos. Nobody wants to just stare at my head while I talk for, 15 minutes. It's time to throw some interesting stuff in there. Little Saturday Night Live, type of stuff going on in there. So should have an interesting one.
High-speed cruising in the improv.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because we don't script. We just roll with it.
Nellie said Symphony of the Seas was nothing, open like the casino for 3 days. I would go stir crazy. I think I would too.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they're stuck docked in the United States, so the casinos can't open, things like that. So yeah, that does kind of.
James said, I'm still looking at the 14-day cruise next October, but October is so active as far as storms. This October, it seems to be.
But if it helps, James, hopefully they stay where they've been this year. We're going down and over. Maybe we'll go underneath them all.
Nellie says, when I go on my next cruise in December, I will tell them not to say my name first. The only cruise line I know that says your name is Disney.
No, I've been making the videos about quit using my first name.
Oh.
I prefer to be addressed as Mr.
Okay, I got you now. Never mind. I thought he was going on a Disney cruise and that was his hint.
No. If you've never been on a Disney cruise, on embarkation day, when you walk into the atrium, they stop everybody. You can only go in one at a time. And when you go in, they announce your family to the cruise ship across the loudspeaker. That's what Tiffany's talking about. I believe Martin is talking about don't use my first name. Because when I go get my guy's bugger, you will address me as Sir. Mr. Chris, would you like bacon on your big burger?
Sheikah said, I hope Carolyn and my friends that are on the Spirit are having good weather. Me too. I hope they are. Cruising Chris M. at Nellie, as long as Schooner Bar would be open, I would be okay. Yes. Gotta go to the Schooner Bar. I like the Schooner Bar.
And I'd like to say that wherever the Spirit happens to be in, whatever kind of weather the Spirit happens to be in, they're bound to be having a better time than us. We're all at home and they're on a ship.
Exactly.
So I think they've already won.
Mm-hmm. Ellie said, Moss, the marshmallow old-fashioned. Almost
That's a drink.
I know that, but I'm thinking I don't like marshmallows, so I don't know if that would be good.
No, dang it, I've already forgot the name of it. The Puerto Rican one. Dang, I forgot the name of that drink. I have to go back and watch my own video so I can remember the name of the drink. But when I'm on Royal, that's the one I'm looking for.
Misty said, just don't add flashing lights, please. No. Don't add flashing lights to your
No flashing lights.
Chica said, I prefer to Boo called by my first name. I prefer to
Be called by my first name.
Be called by my first name. Sorry. Misty then referred to me, my goddess. Come on, it's not like your name is an insult. This is true.
Just some people out there are so weird, in my opinion. It's like You're on vacation. Let's take all the vacation stuff away. I mean, you're on a cruise ship. Can you imagine demanding that somebody formally call you by your surname while you're up on the Lido deck? There's some butt cheeks go wiggling by because there's only a string. Here comes, Mr. Speedo coming by, and your focus while all that's going on is to be formally addressed while there's butt cheek everywhere. Right? That just doesn't make any sense. That's like I said, that's like showing up to Guy's Burger in a tuxedo.
Nelly said that first name video had me laughing. James said, I'm with you, Cruising Chris. Misty said, what kind of spirit, Nelly? Cruising Chris said, that's Rick. I am Gentleman Jack and Diet or PB&J at Mason Bar.
Mason Jar.
Yeah.
We haven't been to that one yet. We
No.
haven't been on the ship that Mason Jar yet.
Bob says Schooner Bar asked for the Blue Hawaiian. Papa Jack.
Papa Jack. That is the one I liked, was the Papa Jack, and that was over in
On Air.
On Air. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Papa Jack in On Air.
But you can get it at the water show too. Aqua show.
Yeah, but the lady at the Aqua Show said, "Oh yeah, I know how to make that." Hooked me up.
The cruise tubers here. Welcome. Nelly said the Filipino Mafia asked if I wanted some mixed drinks in my tumbler on Mariner.
The Filipino Mafia.
Sheikah at Misty, your goddess, and Nelly, your highness. Cruising Chris says, I will try that next time, Bob. Ricky Ocean says, I need to try an adios too. The Cruise Tubers YouTube is killing me tonight. Chat is working, but stream isn't up yet.
Yeah, YouTube has its own mind.
Yeah.
Definitely has its own mind going on half the time.
Yes. Nelly said, also, when the Filipino crew members found I was Filipino too, they gifted me a Royal Stanley-like tumbler. Well, that is awesome.
There you go.
That is awesome. Cruise Tuber said, video is finally up. Hey. You can hear the dogs barking in the background.
Yeah, because now he wants back in.
Yes.
He barks to get out, barks to get in.
They were barking earlier because they were hungry.
Oh. They didn't have dinner before the show?
No, you forgot to feed them.
I forgot to feed them. I thought you forgot to feed him. No wonder he was mad. Now he's full, so now he's
The Cruise Tuber said, wow, that's a lot of Mickeys.
If you're not familiar with us, Tiffany is a Disney adult. She meets all of the boxes and checks everything that classifies her as a Disney adult. Her shirt, this is actually her purse, her fall decor, her fall ears, her Halloween sign, the cup that she has, and an upcoming trip in May. So she is 100% a Disney adult. She tolerates the other cruise lines in my version of vacation, but that's about it. Other than that, it's Disney everything.
Misty said, how many pups y'all got? We have 2, and then my daughter moved back in with her pup, so we have 3.
Because it's always fun when one of the kids comes back.
Cruising Chris at Nelly, the best gift I ever got was a crew pin from Princess. That would be awesome too.
That would be.
Crew pin. The Cruise Tubers said, the first time joining one of your guys' streams, but I've seen a few videos, just subscribed. Well, thank you.
Awesome. We appreciate it. Welcome to the live show where we talk usually about nothing or whatever.
Nelly said, Tiffany will be getting Disney World merchandise soon too. Yeah, I'm excited.
She's like the man behind the curtain. She's like, oh, you're going to Disney? Come here. Let me talk to you. You're going to Disney? Oh, come here. Let me talk. She does. She has people that goes to Disney to get her things.
Uh-huh. I have one going next month. Sheikah said, question to Chris and Tiffany. Do you know or will find out if MSC allows door bandits?
I will actually have to look that one up.
Because I plan on making door magnets. Now, whether we actually get to put them on the door, if not, I will decorate the room with them.
There you go. I haven't seen anything that says they do not. So
NCL, Sheikah said NCL had said no door magnets, but I saw a few on the breakaway. I decorated our door
and James's.
and James's.
We had all kinds of decorations up when we were on
And
Norwegian.
stuff hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, oh yeah, hanging from the ceiling, hanging from the doors. They never. They were some crew members were out there watching us put it up
They were laughing.
and laughing because we were being sneaky doing James's door. Never said a word to
I
us.
think they were watching for us for James.
Tiffany's sucking crew members into shenanigans. But NCL didn't have a problem with it, so I don't think MSC probably would, as long as you follow within the, don't make it distasteful, which nobody out here would.
Cruising Chrism says MSC does allow door magnets. However, I use small magnets to help hold them up. Yeah, that's how I do it too. Or yeah, because tape doesn't really stay.
I like the magnet sheets. To put the magnet sheets on the background so you get like a large magnetic surface. I think that holds really well.
Nellie said, to be fair, Tiffany never asked, but it would be a pleasure from Haley and I to you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No, she asked the others. She has a network of others.
At work, I have several. I have another Disney adult at work that every time something breaking news with Disney, he comes running into my office to tell me, and he's going next month again. So
yeah. So Tiffany gets to go in May though, so she can get her taste.
The cruise tubers, what do you guys think of recent changes with the NCL drink package regarding GSC?
Matter of fact, we were just talking about that earlier in the show, and we think it's a money grab. So I can buy a drink package on board the NCL ship. It's good for my 6-7 day cruise, except for when I get to Great Stirrup Cay. It's not going to work there. That's bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said earlier, that was bad enough, but that is on par with like what Carnival does. But then to come out and say, hold on though, our solution to enhance your cruising experience is we're willing to sell you a different drink package while you're on the island. So I got to call Money Grab BS on that particular situation, because if it really wasn't about the money, then why sell a second drink package and not let the first one continue to work on that?
Cruising Chris at Sheikah, there is a thick covering on their doors. I have sailed seashore twice and had door magnets both times. Sheikah, my cabin steward, brought me a magnet to hang my door magnet. That's awesome. And glad to hear MSC allows them.
Okay, so we've been on, I forget what ship we were on where they didn't stick very well to the door, remember?
Yeah, that was
Ruby Princess.
yes.
No. Yes. Voyager of the Seas.
Yeah, and then the last one we were on, they didn't, I forgot the magnets.
You forgot the magnets.
And so I was using tape, and I kept having to pick them up off the floor every time.
Yeah, we've been on some ships where they put that, like that veneer coating over the metal door to make the doors pretty, look like wood or whatever the case. And that definitely does affect magnet stickage.
Nellie says, Sheikah, I was offered a Cabo overnight on Royal. Did you do that cruise? I know not on Royal. Laugh out loud. Attila said, they're like that old Tom Cruise movie, Show Me the Money. Yep.
We're like, I'm going to steal your money.
Yeah. Bob said, good on the magnets. We'll cover our door when we board.
Cruise Tubers, what cruise are you guys going on next? That is the November 9th sailing on MSC Seascape. Yeah, we're going to be jumping on what essentially is turning into a vlogger's cruise. It seems like on board the first sailing of MSC out of Galveston.
Yes.
It's going to be several creators on board that ship, and several people that we talked to are going to be on board that ship. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. I'm excited. Misty said this November. Yes.
25 days from today. So we are 25 days away from our next cruise. And then after that, it's a whole bunch of basically save until we get to Disney.
Nellie said, I wonder how much the NCL on island will be.
That's going to be an interesting question because, well, you know it's going to be expensive. You just know it is because the probably will, it'll have a higher limit. It's not like it's going to be like buy a package for 3 drinks, 4 drinks. They'll do something where they can say it's, $80, $90, $100 for the day. I'm willing to bet it's going to be closer to 100 than anything else. And you don't get that day that you're on the island back from the ship. That's the other thing. You're essentially, if you buy it, you're buying 2 drink packages for one day.
Yeah. Where are we at? Sheikah at Nelly. I did an overnight cruise on NCL Pearl years ago. It was fun. Misty says, whoop, whoop. The cruise tubers, 49 days for NCL Prima for us. We have been on the Prima. It's a nice ship.
Yeah, if you haven't been on the Prima, she is a beautiful ship. Her layout needs improvement. Venues are too small. That racetrack takes up too much space. But the crew was excellent. The ship was excellent. The food was excellent.
Mm-hmm. Attila said, you're going to do a live from the MSC ship on embarkation day.
If we can get a good internet signal, absolutely. In a good spot, we are. We are going to be doing this cruise without the internet package. So once we're out and about, we'll pretty much be uploading when we hit ports and jumping on free Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to do a little unplugged action this particular cruise. Still be filming, still making videos, having a good time. But we're also going to take time to hang out with other people, communicate, do a little networking and stuff like that while we are also checking out the ship. So we're going to work and vacation.
Yes. Misty said, I'm 19 days till my land trip. Boo land. No Boo land.
No Boo land.
Because you're not at work. So it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. Cruising Chris M said, my first seashore cruise, we did an overnight at Ocean Key. That was nice. The beach party was amazing.
Yeah, I've heard MSC on their private island, they stayed late or overnight. They show a beach party, lights, and yeah, it's a thing.
We're not getting that, are we?
No.
Of course not.
We're not going to that island.
The cruise tuber said, will be my first time on Prima. I like the ship, but if you're going to go to any of the trivias or comedy or the little shows,
the venues are super small.
So get there early so that you can actually get into the venue.
But it was one of the nicest cruise cabins we've ever been on. Just as far as layout and size and everything like that. It was a beautiful cabin. It was a good cruising experience. Like all cruise lines, it had some tweaks that if we were in charge, we'd make. And NCL apparently has made those changes with the Viva and stuff. So,
Cruising Chris M says 65 days for Carnival Horizon for me. Christmas cruise. I love a Christmas. I've only been on one Christmas cruise, but I loved it.
It was a Disney Christmas cruise too.
Yes, it was. Misty said 198 till cruise. It's a lot better than you started.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly working down. Nellie said, Moss, you have to have 1 million airline miles. Laugh out loud flying from Indy. Nellie says 52 days till my next, trying to go in November.
Awesome. That'd be great. The more people we can get in November is even going to be even better. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. We're going to have a lot of fun. But I think we're going to get ready to shut it down for the night. Rick's got his live going on over there. We might pop over there and say hi, jump in just to see how everybody's doing over there and give a little support to Rick. But yeah, we're going to get ready to wrap this up for today. We will be back next Wednesday. Yes. We'll be back next week. Another live video. Can't remember if it's next week, the spooky episode. One of them right before Halloween will be the fun.
It's not next week.
Okay, so 2 weeks will be the spooky Halloween. Definitely check out tomorrow morning's video. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think. Trying to throw a little more creativity, a little skit action in there, trying to make it a little funnier instead of just my such gorgeous old mug here on the screen every single day. I even got Tiffany to be in the video. That's a plus right there. So, but like, we really appreciate everybody being here.
Chica's doing a Christmas cruise on Panorama.
Nice.
Doing Mariner for Halloween. Misty says, sweet dreams, y'all. Minelli says, have a great night, fam. Take care and have a great week. Cruising Chris M says, I usually fly Midway, a little less expensive. I like Indy better. My wallet likes MDW. And then he said, have a great week.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. We really, really appreciate it. Good night. We'll see everybody next week. And I got to find all the buttons. I always forget where my buttons are. Yep. But we'll have video tomorrow. We'll have a video coming out on Saturday. We'll be back next week live. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And like always,
We'll see you out on the high seas.
good night, everybody.